In this video, we are going to learn what is final keyword. Final keyword has different meaning in different contexts. Final keyword is applicable only to variable, method or a class. Use of final keyword. With respect to variables, final keyword is used to create constants in Java. Use of final keyword with respect to methods. When used with method, final keyword prevents method overriding. And use of final keyword with respect to class. When the class is declared as final, it prevents inheritance. You cannot extend the class. So let us see this in detail. Final variables. Final keyword is used to declare the variable as final. Final variable denotes that it is a constant in Java. You cannot reassign the value. It is mandatory to initialize a final variable because you need to declare some constant value. Also, final variable can be initialized only once. You cannot reassign the value. You can also declare object reference as final. This means that you cannot assign another object to the final reference variable. Syntax for declaring final variable: final keyword, data type, variable name, and assign the value. You can even assign the value in the constructor, but ensure that you are assigning only once. Now, what are final methods? When the method is declared as final, a method cannot be overridden. That means if you have a subclass that extends some superclass and superclass is having a final method, you cannot override the final method belonging to the superclass. Final keyword is used to stop the method from overriding. So this happens when some superclass doesn't want subclass to change the code for the method. It can declare it as final so that the method cannot be overridden and the code cannot be changed. You can declare method with the final keyword for which you want to have same implementation in all subclasses. Syntax is final keyword, return type, method name, and parenthesis. Write a Java program to demonstrate final variable and final method. So we have a class demo and we have declared instance variable pi of type double. Value of pi is 3.14. It is a constant. Declare the variable as final. We have declared variable pi as final. Then we have default constructor. We are not using default constructor. There is no code inside this. You can just try out to check whether you can reassign value for the final variable. If you do this, pi equal to 23. Once you have initialized your variable over here, pi equal to 3.14. If you are trying to reassign the value again, compiler will throw an error saying cannot assign value to final variable pi. I have commented this out. You can try this while executing your program in the IDE. Then we have method show. We have final method display. Final methods cannot be overridden. We have a class final demo, extends demo. And we have tried overriding display method. This is my superclass display method. Now if you don't know what is method overriding, please watch video titled method overriding. So while executing your program, you can try out overriding a final method, same signature void display, and write the different code for it. Compiler will throw an error displaying the error message, final methods cannot be overridden. So I have commented this out. Then we have main method. Here the first statement is object creation. We are creating object of type demo, reference variable is D, and we have assigned new object to reference variable D. So inside the memory, what will happen? As usual, reference variable D will be allocated memory inside the stack memory area and the actual object will be created on the heap memory area. But we have declared this object as final. So when you declare this object as final, what happens is you cannot reassign new object to the same reference variable. Once again, you cannot say D equal to new final, D equal to new final demo. This will give you an error. If the object is not final, you can do this. You can create two objects for the same reference variable. But when you declare this as final, this is not allowed. Compiler will throw an error. Now the next statement, we are printing the text final demo. This will be printed to the console. Then system.out.println, we are invoking the final variable pi on object D. It is not a static variable, hence we need to invoke the variable using an object. So d.pi, the value of instance variable pi will be retrieved from object D and it will be printed. Now the next statement is d.show. Control will go to the show method, which is a regular instance method, and the code inside method is not final will be printed. and the next statement d.display, control will go to the definition of display method and the code inside display method will be executed. Final method cannot be overridden. So the points to remember are, you can retrieve the value of final variable, use it anywhere in your program, but you cannot reassign the value. Point number 2, you can invoke the final method, but you cannot override the method. You cannot change the code for the method. You can invoke the final method from the superclass. These are the two things you need to remember regarding the variable and method. Also, when you are declaring an object as final, you cannot reassign another object to the final reference variable. Let us learn final class in detail. A final class cannot be inherited. So suppose you are a programmer and you want your class not to be inherited. In that case, you can declare your class as final. So the class cannot be subclass. A final class is used when we want to prevent inheritance. Examples of inbuilt final classes are integer, float. Integer, float, these are wrapper classes. We have a different video on wrapper classes. Here you need to remember these are the inbuilt final classes. Even string is an inbuilt final class. You cannot extend string class. So how do we declare class as final? Final keyword and a class definition. So here you need to check. I have copied the same code, class demo, and I have declared demo class as final using the final keyword. So when you try to extend demo class final demo extends demo class, here you get compile time error displaying the error, final class cannot be inherited.